Hey everybody, welcome to class today. Uh, Sorry we can't be here live, but hopefully this will be the next best thing. Appreciate you. So remember, this lesson is being recorded for learning purposes. If we were doing a live class, here would be my virtual expectations. Remember, follow along with the Nearpod, use the chat tool respectfully, and respond the first time to instructions. All right. Okay, today what we're gonna do is we're gonna be talking about law as a career, and at the very end we're going to be doing an assignment in regards to finding different career paths as you're looking there in law enforcement. So let's just jump over the course real quick. Remember, I do always upload the recordings to the first page, the announcement page, just in case you need that. If you head over to plan, things are moving along very quickly. We have our live class today, the 9th. It's due on the 15th. I will be zeroing everything out here shortly in the class. Then we have winter break that's coming up, and then the end of the block is the 7th. So you do have winter break and a week after that to get everything in, but basically this course is pretty much completely done. As we jump over here, we're going to be in Unit 5, Law as a Career. Here's the assignment. What you'll do on the assignment, of course, is you're just going to click over here and then follow the instructions. You can add the attachment here, and you can upload it or do a Google Drive, OneDrive, whatever you need to do to make sure you get the assignment. I will be going over that at the very end of class today. Okay, so let's move on. The objective for the course is giving a Word or Google document. Students will accurately search careers within the criminal justice field, choose one, and find the credential needed to apply for the career of interest with 80% accuracy across one trial. So the credentials, right, would be like if you need any degrees, if you need to go to police officer school, if you need background checks, all that kind of stuff are very important as we're kind of looking through here. And so really this lesson, just so you know, it's going to be more about being like a professional employer or employee, so you can obtain the job that you want. So finding employment in the criminal justice. There are many job opportunities available in criminal justice system for those who are interested in the field and willing to do what is required to earn the necessary qualifications. We'll discuss the steps one needs to take in order to prepare for, locate, evaluate, and apply for job opportunities in this competitive job arena. But simply landing the job isn't the end to the process. It also needs some things to think about, what it takes to be a good employee, and what to do if you decide to change career fields in the future. Okay, so one thing that you'll want to think about as you're looking here is developing a career plan. Now, you may just be taking this class just for interest's sake rather than really wanting to go in the criminal justice field, which is okay. But what I want on the assignment is for you to look at fields in criminal justice you may be interested. So far you've learned a great deal about the criminal justice system and how it works. You've also had the opportunity to explore some of the careers in this field. Now we'll discuss how you'll find a job. Okay, so one of the things you want to really look at is goal setting. You may have heard of this before. It's called SMART goals. So goals that are specific, measurable, obtainable, relevant, and time-bound. So for example, if you want to become a judge, it's going to be a lot of work, right? So your specific goal would be, I want to be a judge, right? And how do I measure that by? Well, it'd be measured by, actually getting a judgeship. Obtainable, you got to make sure that you're getting good grades. In order to be a judge, you have to go to law school, and then usually you have to be a law clerk, and you have to work your way up the system in order to be it. And then it has to be relevant to you, and then being a judge is probably a goal that you got to set 15 years down the line or more in order to get that. So that's what we're looking at there. Okay, so locating job opportunities. One place that I'll want you to go quite a bit is what's called usjobs.gov, and we'll look at that place a little bit in a little bit. But basically, if you're looking for a federal job in the criminal justice system, then that is the best place to look. If you're looking at more of like a local job, now federal jobs, there are a bunch of federal jobs in Utah as well. I know some people don't want to move away from family, or you don't want to do things like that. I would still go to usjobs.gov because they do have locations in Utah that you can work with. Also, just regular online job boards like careerbuilder.com, monster.com, basically Indeed and Simply Hired. All of those places you can search if you want to maybe find more of a local one instead of a federal one. But I'm just going to guide you a little bit to usajobs.gov. Okay, so when you're completing a job application, there are certain things that they want you to look at. You'd want to get basically a career objective. So if you're going to be in law enforcement, you'll want to talk about what your career goal is to being in law enforcement. Also, your education. To be a police officer, you must at least graduate high school, and then also what they call peace officer training, which is basically the boot camp or whatever to go through there. If you do get hired on someplace without that, some police departments or other places will send you to that peace officer training or the police academy. But if you have it beforehand, you're even looking at being more hireable. You also want to put different work experience that you have down, any professional associations or certificates, and then other skills and experience you have, and then also references. Okay, we're going to watch this video about the 10 major job opportunities in criminal justice. So this is quite long, so here we go.
Hey guys, how's it going? It's Calvin Rabb, and I hope you're having an awesome day today. So a special welcome to all my criminal justice majors, because in this video I'm going to be going over the top 10 highest paying jobs for criminal justice majors. And I am going to go from lowest paying to highest paying, and yeah, highest paying is going to be number one, but I don't want you to skip straight there, because A, salary isn't the most important thing, and B, something along the way may pique your interest that you may want to look a little bit into. So let's get into it. I think I've done a couple of different videos like this before, and these were some of, I don't want to say like the coolest, but the most interesting jobs that I have been able to research, and there are a ton of them. Out of all the videos that I've done, these are the most jobs that I've looked at. I've looked at well over 100 different jobs. So this is definitely one that has a whole lot of jobs at the other end, and it's just a fascinating field in general. So without any further ado, let's get into it. And if you're new here, my name is Calvin Rabb. I make videos all about the job market and economics, so if you're interested in anything like that, I would love it if you would subscribe. Coming in at number 10 with a base average salary of over $76,000 is a probation officer. So a probation officer will really be in charge of a lot of things that have to do with rehabilitation of law offenders, and especially people on parole and things like that. So what this person's going to be doing is oftentimes they'll know a lot about mental health or different things like that that a lot of law offenders may be struggling with, and they'll come up with different rehabilitation plans in order to get them up to speed, for after they're done with parole and maybe released, because that oftentimes transition from being incarcerated to being in the free world is oftentimes tough for a lot of people. So this person will come up with different plans to make sure that they are kind of just up to the right understanding and in the right mindset and fully prepared to, enter the workforce and put their best foot forward. Coming in at number 9, making about $77,000 per year, is going to be a Homeland Security professional. Now, a Homeland Security professional is, again, more of a general field than it is specific job, but in the name you can see Homeland Security. And Homeland, so here in the United States, that would be the United States or whatever country you may be in or working for. So what you're going to be in charge of here is really mostly terrorist threats or anything that poses a threat to the security of that homeland. And you're going to be oftentimes have a specific part of the security team that goes into Homeland Security in general. Again, it's a gigantic field, so you often specialize in something, and that will require a little bit of further training, but this is certainly a very important, and of course because of that it is high paying, and it can be a pretty interesting field altogether if you are interested in not only just intelligence collecting, anything like that, but just Homeland Security in general, making sure that we stay safe in the United States or whatever country you're working in. Coming in at number 8, making over $81,000 per year, is going to be a Border Patrol agent. And I don't think I really need to explain too much into what a Border Patrol agent is, other than, it's just someone who will kind of watch the border and patrol the border 24/7 and protect the borders of a said country. And here in the United States, this is definitely something that is really getting a lot of look right now, and it's also somewhat controversial as well. But what you're going to be doing is not only making sure people come in legally, but on top of that, making sure and enforcing a lot of different drug policies and making sure that drugs don't come into the United States or outside of the United States. So if this is something that you are interested in at all, if this is a field that you feel some type of passion towards, then this may be something that you want to go into. There's a lot of different jobs that are surrounding this and are similar to it. I found different jobs such as being an ICE agent, which average salary was $79,000. So a lot of different jobs will do the same thing. So if you want to look more into this idea of border security, you'll see kind of a door open up into a lot of different jobs as well that you can look into that may be of further interest to you as well. Number 7, and it's kind of in that same ballpark as the Border Patrol agent, but different enough that I felt like it deserved its own, and that is a Deportation Officer, and a Deportation Officer is going to be making over $86,000 per year. So a Deportation Officer, I'm sure we all know kind of what it is, but what this person will be in charge of is just making sure, and just in charge of that process of not only locating people that may be illegally, but then moving them oftentimes to outside the United States or to some trial or something like that. So they are in charge of deporting people who may be living in the United States illegally. Number 6 is a prison warden, and a prison warden is going to be making over $87,000 per year, average base salary there. So a prison warden is a high-ranking official who really is in charge of the managerial and kind of not only business aspects, but just the ongoings of a prison system. So a prison warden is going to make sure that all the staff and everyone there is following different regulations, making sure that everything is done safely, and just making sure that everything is secure. So it's in charge of all things management perspective of a jail or prison system. Coming at number 5 is a Drug Enforcement Administration agent, or oftentimes just referred to as a DEA agent for short. This person will be making over $88,000 per year base average salary. So a DEA agent is in charge of all things kind of drugs within the United States and of course at the borders as well. So they'll be looking into a lot of illegal drug trafficking, maybe across borders or even between states here in the United States. And they'll be following different groups who may be creating the drugs and trying to sell them and just really cracking down on this. Ever since the United States took that war on drugs, this has been certainly a main focus, and this kind of job field has exploded since then. So if you are interested in that at all, in trying to rid the United States of drugs, then this may be something that you want to look further into. This is certainly something, I hear a lot about it here on the news here in San Diego, because we are close to the border, and oftentimes on the news I see a lot of DEA agents speaking about their job, what they do, and I always hear about, drugs coming from other countries or leaving the United States to other countries as well. So it can oftentimes be a somewhat risky job, but it is something that is very important, and because of that, it is very high paying. Coming at number 4 is a computer forensic specialist, and this person's going to be making over $92,000 per year. So it's in the name there, you are going to be a forensic specialist, meaning you are then going to be looking into litigation and different crimes and things like that. But the computer side of things means you're going to be dealing a lot, of course, with computers. And oftentimes what the main job is going to be is just getting information out of computers. And so much of a lot of crime that is done electronically, is done over the internet. There's tons of documentaries about black markets and different things that run within different computer systems, different things like that. So your whole job is to be tracking that, following that, and getting information from maybe different computers and things like that to try to lead to the arrest or just further understanding of a certain crime that may be going on. Coming in at number 3, and if you enjoy travel, then this may be something that you want to look into, and that is a federal Air Marshal, and they're going to be making over $99,000 per year. So a federal Air Marshal is going to be someone that works with the TSA, and they are trained terrorist investigators. And the whole job of them altogether is to make sure that public flying is safe. So they are oftentimes trained marksmen and different things like that. All their whole job is just to make sure that public flying is safe, and oftentimes, most likely, you probably won't know who they are. It makes me wonder if I've ever, passed or seen a federal air marshal. They don't advertise that they're federal air marshals. So this, of course, is a very important position here in the United States and in the world at large. And if you're interested at all, then this may be something that you want to look into. It is very high paying as well. Coming in at number 2 is a criminal investigator, and they're going to be making just under $100,000 base average salary. So when I think of fighting crime and solving crimes, this is most likely kind of what you think of, or at least what I think of. So a criminal investigator is going to be in charge of all things, within crime investigation. This is going to be someone who is there during the evidence gathering to the interrogation of different subjects and just following of different evidence and different leads, and they're all the way there to look at the data, to make analysis, to even make arrests, and they're there through the whole process. So if you are into crime at all, or just interested in justice and anything like that, then this may be something that you want to look into. You oftentimes focus on maybe one specific type of crime or something within the crime that you have a particular skill set with and just further studying, but this is a very fascinating field, and I think a lot of criminal justice majors go into that major, very interested in crime and solving crime. So this may be something that you want to look into, because for me, I kind of see it as like the quintessential job for a criminal justice major. Coming at number 1 is a United States Secret Service agent, and on average you're going to be making over $137,000 per year. So whenever you think of a Secret Service agent, the most common place that we see them is usually with protecting high-level officials, and this is a very important job for them. Usually they are kind of protecting a government official. If the president ever leaves the White House or is traveling, giving a speech or something like that, oftentimes you'll see Secret Service agents. Well, ideally you don't really want to see them, because usually they're undercover and they don't want to be seen. But there's so much more that Secret Service agents do than just protecting government officials. They of course protect very important buildings and different things like that. When I traveled to DC, I could see some Secret Service agents protecting a lot of the important federal buildings that are there. But on top of just adding protection, they also do a lot of investigation into different fraud. Particularly when I was researching this job, they do a lot of research into financial fraud and different things like that, into counterfeiting, and there's so much more that goes into this job. And also something important to know, that if you are interested in becoming a Secret Service agent or something like that, there are a lot of jobs outside the U.S. as well, meaning, you could have to move to another country or something like that. There's no guarantee that you're going to be based here in the United States. So this, of course, is a huge job with a lot of different opportunities that are out there for you. So that will wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. And if you haven't yet, I would love it if you would smash...
All right, so that gives you quite a few opportunities, as well as our last week. We did talk about.
Smash the like button,
Oh, it
and
makes
if you
me
want to see more
watch the
videos
whole
like this, I
thing.
would love if you
Sorry.
hit the subscribe button. But in the meantime, I will leave you. Thank you so much for watching. As always, my name is Calvin Rabb, and I'll see you soon. Hey, you made it to the end of the video. Congratulations.
Okay, we don't want to hear him anymore, I guess. All right, but it's gonna make me watch the rest of it real quick. So, so just as I was saying before, there is a lot of different jobs in criminal justice that you can get, as well as some of the videos that we watched last time on there. So one of the things that they do look for in criminal justice is becoming a model employee. One of the things that you need to be as an officer or whatever in the criminal justice field is there, and it's a government position, which is great. So there are government benefits, there's other things like that, but you need to do your research in your field. Okay, you need to follow best practices. Sometimes if you do not follow every little step that you're supposed to, the person that maybe did a horrendous crime is going to get off because of a technicality. And we do not want that to happen. You make sure that you do what's called professional development or professional trainings to make sure you're up to date on different things that are going on in the criminal justice field and in the field that you go into in particular. So, everyone, you kind of, there may be some sick days and stuff like that, but you need to be truly sick. Employers also count on their employees to be able to get things done in a timely manner. So, for example, this is especially true in the criminal justice careers. It is hard to keep communities safe and assist citizens when they are in danger if you're not in a uniform patrolling your squad car. So if you could imagine so the whole pathway that we have here is called protective services. So that would include ambulances, EMTs, all that kind of stuff. I mean, what if you were to call the EMT and they're like, "Oh, sorry, I'm out sick today," and you're like, "Well, my grandma's having a heart attack," right? You just need to make sure that you're there and reliable, have interpersonal skills, be able to accomplish goals, get things done, and work as a team. This field can be fairly stressful at times. Okay, so this is where you're going to put right here. Are you looking to go into the criminal justice field? Yes or no? So you can just put something like this. Yes, I would like to be a defense attorney. That was one of the things I wanted to do was possibly be an attorney at some point in time. Okay, so this is USA Jobs. This is where you're going to go to look for your different jobs. So what we can do here, we're going to put Utah, okay, and we're going to put we could do criminal investigator, maybe. See if there's any in Utah. Okay, so there's criminal investigator right here. Multiple locations. Criminal investigator in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Okay, and so what you'll do here is you'll just find some things like that. Let's say if you want to go into maybe law. Let's see here. There's a lot of assistant United States attorney. Okay. Here's a criminal investigator starting at $108,000. Or how about this one? I like this one. And this will tell you kind of your benefits here, okay? Open or displaced. They'll help you move. Competitive Okay, so it kind of gives you some access right here. So if we were to click on this job opening, okay, it's going to tell us a couple things. Okay, so it has all these. It has the duties, has your starting position, and what you potential you can get with promotions. But then it also says the requirements. Okay, so you must be a U.S. citizen. You have to register for what's called the selective service if you were born after this time, which means they could draft you into the military. You have to be in there for at least 5 years, pass a background check and or polygraph. Okay, so they'll make you do that. So other qualifications they have, you can't have any criminal records. Okay, here's some musts, okay, including education. And so you're going to have to look in here and see what they require for all of this stuff, okay? So you'll have to read through one of these that interests you, okay? And you'll have to put that down on the document that you're going to answer. Oops. Okay. All right, so this is what you're going to do. When you go into your course, right, where I showed you before, it's just right here. You can go and you go add a document. So you go into the criminal justice field and then you just go attach document, bring up a Word document or whatever. You're going to go to the us.gov, or you can go to another site if you want to look for like local police officer or something like that, state job. Search the related jobs in criminal justice. Choose a job that interests you, and then you're going to write a summary of the position that you choose. Now, if you go back to that USA Jobs, right, it has a pretty good description that you can look at and just summarize it. And then also you need to list below the 75 words the qualifications needed to apply for the position. Okay, so that's what you need to do for your assignment. Okay, if you have any questions, please contact me. Appreciate you guys following along, and we'll talk to you later.